Okay, this is a quick tutorial on adding a foil, actually a silver foil star, to your toolbox. Had a request during the Q&A we had a few nights ago on how to do this. We went through it really quick. I promised to do a tutorial, so here it is. So go ahead and open up your toolbox. We're going to start here, obviously. Let's see. So let's go right away. We'll add this to the toolbox. So let's go right away to Object, and let's select New. And we will call this foil stars because we can actually size this and make different sizes, obviously. So we'll call this foil stars. Click OK. And now we're going to need a reference image to work from. So I'm going to use a Qualitex image. So just like we did way back when with the 11-inch latex, we're going to go to the Mayflower website. So search Mayflower distributing. And wait for that to come up. Go to their website. Any second now. And up here in the search, we're going to put in the number 15261. And that is a 20-inch sapphire blue star. I know we're making a silver star, but we're going to work with a blue star because it just has a little better contrast. It's easier to see. So right click on that, copy image, and then go ahead and start paint. And then if this isn't already resized really small, go ahead and resize your work area really small. Again, you're probably using a newer version of Paint. Just grab the little handle down here and resize it, and then hit Control V to paste because you've already copied the image. Click out in the field to unselect it, and then we're going to File and Save As. And I'm going to put this with the rest of my stuff, which is good grief, generic volume. There we go. Tutorials. We will put that in there, and we will call this star foil star reference, and we'll keep that a 24-bit bitmap because we want to have nice high resolution. Once that's saved, you can close Paint. You can close your Mayflower web browser. We can go back here, and now we can go to, we should still be in the foil stars. Go to Build, make sure you're in the Object Edit mode. Go to Build, and we are going to go to Reference Image and Load, and not the desktop. We want to navigate to your image wherever you put it. Mine is on my external drive. And foil star reference, open that up, and then click OK. And it may look like this where it's laying flat because I have the top view selected. Just double click on the image and make sure your orientations are all set to 0.000, and then select OK, and that should make it nice and upright just like that. I'm going to go ahead and frame all views by going to the object viewpoint and then frame all. Now we've got our reference image. What we have to do now is make a model of this. So let's go ahead and select the reference image, select the move tool here, isolate the Y, and go to the top view, and you can see this thin yellow line. That's your reference image. We're just going to click out here and hold and drag and push this to the back. You can see it moving over here to the back in the 3D image. That way it'll be behind what we're working on. Alright, we're going to re-enable X, Y, and Z. Now, we are actually going to use a sphere model to make this. So go to the sphere tool, and then come out here, and in the front view, any view you want, go ahead and drag out a sphere. So click and drag that, double click on the image, and now we're going to set that, don't worry about the diameter right now because we're going to actually change that. But go to your divisions. Your longitude you want to make 10, and your latitude you want to keep at 8. Select OK, and we're going to Build, Convert to Mesh, Edit, Locate, Center about Origin, and then Edit, Rotate. And now let me go to wireframe view really quick so you can see what's happening here. So here's our wireframe view. So go ahead and go to your front view and select wireframe so you can see what we're actually doing here. So make sure you've got this selected, your sphere is selected, and then we're going to go to Edit, Rotate, and we're going to rotate about X 90 degrees. So now we're facing the point, but we need one of these points to be upright. So we're going to go to Edit and Rotate again, and this time we're going to rotate about Z 90 degrees. And what that does now is you see we've got our points are actually lined up the way they need to be. Now, we're going to go back to the front view for a second. You know what, actually, let's stay in the multi-view. Scratch that. We're going to stay in the multi-view for now, because we kind of need to see this 3D view. So, let's go to the scale tool, and let's scale this out. We're going to hold and drag with the regular scale tool until we get out to the edges of the star. And as you can see, we're not quite lining up. You can see the bottom legs of the star, so to speak, are sticking out a little further than they are on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the background image, isolate the Y, and I'm going to drag this up. With the move tool, I'm going to drag this up a little bit and get the image to where it's a little more lined up, where these points kind of line up with the star. It's a foil, so it's not exactly straight square geometric anyways, and what we are making is going to be, so we just got to kind of get it close. So that looks pretty good right about there, kind of even spaced. And back to enabling X, Y, and Z. Disable snapping at this point because we're going to do a lot of freeform shaping of this model. So we got snapping disabled. Now we can come back here and we can select our sphere again. And now we're going to go back to the scale tool. There's a lot of scaling going on here. And we are going to scale this back until we have it right about there. That's kind of where we want to start from. Alright, so now that we have that, we still have the wireframe view going in the front here. We're going to go to the point edit mode, or object point edit, which is this here. We've done this before. And we're going to isolate points. So you want to make sure you have just the points selected by just clicking on the point. And then X, Y, and Z still enabled. And we're going to use the drag select tool. And we're going to go out here, and what we want to do is select just these points. And what I'm doing is just dragging a box around this point. And then I'm going to right click and drag a box around this point. Right click again, right click again, and right click again. So we have all 5 of those points. Go to your scale tool, and now you're going to click and drag to the left and hold until you get your points out to about the matching what the actual foil star kind of looks like. You can see it's kind of doesn't really line up exactly, but at least you get close. Alright, so back to the drag select tool, and now we're going to move these points. So left click and draw a box around this point, and then right click and drag a box. Right click around, what am I doing? Around this point, right click around this point, and right click around that point. Okay, and those gets a little bit confusing, and then you're going to go back to the scale tool, not the non-uniform but the regular scale tool, and we are going to click and drag again to the right until we get out to kind of to the edges of our star here. So it looks pretty close to what the actual foil star looks like. This is all pretty free-form. You just got to get it close. Alright, back to the drag select tool, and now we're going to bring out these points. So drag a left click, drag a box around this point, right click a box here, right click here, right click here, and right click here. Scale tool. Now you're going to watch over here on your 3D view and on your side view. When I scale this, if I go too far, you get this kind of weird woo. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure you go to about right there. I wouldn't go much past there because you get kind of a weird, kind of a sharp angle there. We're going to fix that in a little bit, but that's what I would do for that. And then I would leave these other points look pretty good. So let's go ahead and left click on this one, right click here, right click here, right click here. Wow, sorry, scratch that. Right click here, right click here, right click here, right click here, and then here. We're working on the points, so go ahead and go to the scale tool again, and this time we're going to go out with this just a little bit. And if you look on the right side over here, you can see how it kind of rounds out. So you want to kind of keep that nice round shape going, kind of like that. And you can watch up here and make sure your points are getting too sharp up here. And this is still a little bit thick, a little bit wide for a star, in my opinion. If I go to the 3D view and the rotate tool here, you can see that's a little thick for foil. So what I'm going to do from the side view is I'm going to flatten that out a little bit. So let's go ahead and select the object and then go to non-uniform scale and isolate the X. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to click and drag to the left and get that kind of flattened out a little bit, kind of to where it looks good. You know what a foil star kind of looks like from the side. So I'm going to go about right there. And I'm going to call that good. We're going to do one more thing here to try and smooth this out a little bit. And that is, we're going to select the object. Let's go to all the views here so you can see it. Let's go back to the regular smooth shaded on the front. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to double click on the image, and if you look here at the mesh editor, one of the options you have is smooth angle. 45 is the default. What we can do is increase that to 100. So change that to 100 and select OK, and you can see what that does is it really smooths out your image. If you go to the 3D view and rotate it around now, that looks pretty good. It's a pretty good representation of a foil star, in my opinion. Okay, so it's this lovely gray color that everything is that you make an animator. So we got to change that to look like a silver foil. And I went and looked up on the website the material I want to use, and that's just on the animator website. If you want to know a link to that, I can get that to you. You basically go to the animator website and you select the Learn tab, and that takes you to the manual, and you scroll down to where it says Materials, the Materials section, and the first one is the Materials Editor. You click on there, and there's a little chart in there that shows you some values for some different reflective type surfaces. So, okay, moving right along. X, Y, and Z are re-enabled. We can re-enable snapping for now, doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and select your background image and delete that. I'm going to go to File and Save now that we're done with all of that. And then what we're going to do is go to the material editor over here and double click on New. And what you're going to put in here, first of all, is silver foil, which is what I would call it, so you know it's not just regular old Qualitex latex silver, it's actually a silver foil color. And then the values you want to put in your ambient, diffused, specular, and so forth is going to be 0.300, 0.700, and you're going to change this, the specular, to 0.700. The emissive does not change. The rough needs to be set to 8, and the brilliance needs to be set to 2. And then go ahead and just grab your scrubber right here and run this all the way up so your RGB is all 255, which is just straight white. And then select OK, and you get this lovely silver color. So we'll click on here, and we will click the silver, and we will click Apply. And now you can see over here, you've got a pretty good representation of silver. If you render this, it'll actually have this nice shine to it. And do a quick render for you so you can see that. Build, render image. I have to do this twice sometimes. Render image, 800 by 600. Set this to, let's leave it dark. Click OK and OK. So that's kind of what your silver will look like when you put it into any of your decor. Alright, okay, this is not 20 inches though, this is huge, so we need to scale this down to 20 inches. So I'm going to go to the front view, one view, and then I'm going to go to the Add Cylinder tool here, and just click and drag out here a cylinder, double click on it, and I want to set my outside, my start diameter to 20 and my end diameter to 20. I'm just tabbing through those, and set your longitude to 10. Select OK. We're going to edit, locate, center about origin, edit, rotate about X, 90 degrees. I'm going to go back to the wireframe view so you can see what we're doing here. And now when it rotated, it kind of moved it down, so I'm going to edit and locate again, center about origin, and now you can see we're actually centered right on our star. So we're going to rotate this one more time. So while it's still selected, go to Edit and Rotate. I know I'm going kind of quick. And then rotate about the Z 90 degrees. And now you see we've matched our shape there. Now select your mesh of your star. Go to the Scale tool. And let's go ahead and disable snapping here. And regular scale, not non-uniform, but scale. And then just come out of here and left click and drag this down until it fits into your little 20-inch circle here. What I'm going to do is I am going to go back to the selection tool, and I'm going to mouse wheel in to zoom in and see how I did. That could be a little closer, so I'm going to go to the scale tool again, and I'm actually going to use a keyboard, and I'm right arrow, left arrow, and I can get these points to where they're just touching the outsides. Once you've done that, you can delete the cylinder you made, snap the view, and what you've done now is you've created a 20-inch star. Now, I'm not going to go through it, but you obviously can then copy and paste, Control V, Control C, and use the move tool to drag to select and drag the new one out. Control C, Control V, there we go, and drag out a new one. And then obviously you can make a 9-inch cylinder the same way. You can make a, let's see, what other sizes available? You can make a what other size? 9-inch, 4-inch cylinder if you would like. 20-inch cylinder we just did. You can do a 36-inch cylinder the same way, because the foil is all the same structure, it's just different diameters. So if you need it in other sizes, you can do the same procedure that we did with the 11-inch latex when we were doing the original Toolbox, but now you're just working with the foil stars. So to scale this to 9 inches, you would just make a 9-inch cylinder the same way, 9 by 9, and then make this 10, select OK, and then you would edit, rotate, X90, edit, rotate, Z90, and then you can just move that over to here, and then all you would do obviously is scale your 20-inch star really quick like that down to fit inside there, and then select that and delete it, and now you've just made a 9-inch star. So that's how you would do that, and you can just line them up as you go, as you need the different sizes. Okay. And obviously if you wanted to make gold or any other colors, you can go in here and you can change your silver. Keep these values all the same, but then you would want to obviously mess with your actual color scrubber here, and what you can do is find a nice gold color if you're looking to make kind of a yellowish Qualitex gold, and then select OK, and you can make that a gold star just like that. Alright, I think that's it for now. Until next time.